We now come to a very special part of this graduation ceremony. The address today gives us the opportunity to hear from a distinguished member of our alumni community. And we're very fortunate today that the address will be delivered by Mr. James Hawkins. Mr. Hawkins began his career as a solicitor, was admitted as a barrister and solicitor in both the Supreme Court of Victoria and the High Court of Australia in 2002. In 2004, Mr. Hawkins became an investment banker, as I know only too well because he joined Macquarie's investment banking group in Melbourne, where I have a bit to do with, and then went on to New York. He returned to Macquarie's Melbourne office in 2010 before joining the independent corporate advisory firm Flagstaff Partners, where he currently works as an executive director. Amongst his many other achievements, Mr. Hawkins is a past vice president and life member of the Monash Blues Football Club, and most importantly, played for many years successfully as a player. I now have much pleasure in inviting Mr. James Hawkins to deliver today's graduation address.
Mr. Chancellor, Deputy Vice-Chancellor and Vice President Global Engagement, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and most importantly, the 2017 graduates. I'm very honoured to be providing today's graduation speech for the Faculty of Business and Economics. Firstly, to the graduates, congratulations to each of you on this very significant achievement. This is undoubtedly the culmination of many years of study and hard work, and it is an achievement of which you should be very proud. Your graduation is made even more significant by the fact that almost all of you moved away from home to complete your degree. Secondly, to the family and friends of the graduates, well done. Today's graduation has no doubt been a team effort and involved a lot of support from you over many years. Graduates, today is a unique day, as it is an opportunity to reflect upon your achievements, as well as looking forward to what the future may hold. Much has changed since I was sitting in this very same Robert Blackwood Hall close to 20 years ago, and change is what I'd like to talk to you about today. Like those of you graduating today, I did not grow up in Victoria, Australia. Rather, I grew up and attended school in Hobart, Tasmania, Australia's southernmost island state. My mum and dad were both teachers, and they strongly encouraged me to study at university interstate due to the myriad of benefits that this would provide to me both academically and socially as a result of living away from home. This certainly was not the easy option, as I was living only 500 metres from the University of Tasmania, a well-regarded university itself. However, I was always keen for a challenge and decided to listen to my parents' advice for once and apply to study a double degree, a Bachelor of Commerce and Laws at Monash University. Graduates, you will find that the international experience which you have obtained is highly valued by employers and will stand you in good stead in the future. Although not quite overseas, the mainland, as Tasmanians like to call it, felt like a different country for a young Tasmanian. Trains, trams, traffic, and hook turns were all quite foreign to me. That decision to leave home, whilst not an easy one for me, was one of the best and most life-changing decisions that I have made in my life. Graduates, please remember that when you are making decisions, it is often those decisions which are not easy that will turn out to be your best decisions. In addition, you should always be comforted in the knowledge that future decisions that you are required to make will pale in insignificance when contrasted with the courageous decision that you made when you decided to leave home to study at Monash University. I arrived at Monash in February 1996 and lived on campus at Mannix College for the first 2 years of my time at university. That was a wonderful experience because I was surrounded by a community of people who, like me, had moved away from home to study, discover the world, and take themselves out of their comfort zone. I was a member of many communities during my time at university, including Mannix College, the Commerce and Law faculties, and the Monash Blues Football Club. Each of these communities gave me a sense of belonging. Graduates, you are now part of a community that will forever have one fact in common. You graduated from the Faculty of Business and Economics at Monash together at the end of 2017. That is a unique bond, and you may find, as I did, that over time your bond will grow even stronger. In addition to becoming my friends, members of the Monash community have become my work colleagues. They've formed business relationships with me. They have become members of my bridal party and are godparents to my children. You will find that your friends from university will, in many cases, become friends for life. After graduating from Monash, I started out as a lawyer in 2001 and spent 3 years at the national law firm Clayton Utz, specialising in providing advice to companies listed on the Australian Stock Exchange. Whilst working closely with investment banks on a range of transactions, it was clear to me that I was far more interested in the work that they undertook than working as a lawyer. I subsequently joined Macquarie's investment banking group in 2004. It was a dynamic time at Macquarie, surrounded by smart, driven, and curious people. After spending 3 years in the Melbourne office, the global economy was growing at a rapid rate, and I joined the New York office of Macquarie on the 1st of January 2007. We were trying to do some very ambitious transactions in the United States at that time. However, credit markets started to become dysfunctional in late 2007, and that was followed by the onset of the global financial crisis, or the GFC as it is commonly referred to, in 2008. The GFC resulted in the demise of household investment banking names like Bear Stearns, Merrill Lynch, and Lehman Brothers, all of which had been in existence since before I was born. In a short time, it was impossible to transact in any investment banking deals as credit markets were frozen, equity markets were plummeting, and mergers and acquisitions were fraught with danger at a time with so much uncertainty. I remember watching the US market drop by 10% in one day. In addition to the upheaval that the finance markets were experiencing, the real economy was struggling, with the unemployment rate in the United States increasing by 50% in only a couple of months. It was, quite frankly, a frightening time to be working in finance, but it was amazing to see many of the theories that I'd learned at university be either proven or disproven in real life. When I reflect upon my career to date, undoubtedly the most interesting period, when I learnt the most, was when I was working in New York during the GFC. However, at that time it did not feel interesting, far from it. Please remember, therefore, as you move through your working life, be cognizant that what at the time may feel like a very challenging and even frightening time in your career might end up being when you learn the most. After returning to Melbourne in 2010, I spent a year working with Macquarie before joining the independent corporate advisory firm Flagstaff Partners. This is the firm at which I still work today as an executive director, focusing on transactions primarily in the infrastructure sector, including, appropriately, university student accommodation transactions. In addition, I'm on the advisory boards of Plexus, a provider of technology-based legal services and one of Australia's fastest growing companies, and Urban Property Australia, a leading advisor in property investment and development. These roles provide me with a great perspective on the legal services and property industries, whilst enabling me to think as my clients think, which is invaluable. Whilst your working life will consume a very large amount of your available time going forward, It is important that you find a work-life balance and you continue to have interests outside of work. I like to spend time with my family, play sport, and travel. And it is amazing how many good ideas jump into my head whilst I'm pursuing one of my interests outside of work. Interests outside of work will provide you with the opportunities to switch off and have some fun, both of which will ultimately benefit your effectiveness in the workplace. Now for the future. When I consider the future for the graduates in this audience, I see a global economy full of opportunities. If you embrace change, there will be many opportunities that present to you in the future. Imagine, for example, if you had believed in cryptocurrencies and bought some Bitcoin when it first came into existence, or participated in the social media revolution and were creators of Facebook or Instagram, or created the ride-sharing app Uber. Never in my life has disruption been so prevalent and the speed of change so rapid. This is a fantastic and exciting time to be entering the workforce. As many of you are about to enter the workforce for the first time, with the benefit of my experience, I'd like to provide you, the 2017 graduates, the following advice. 1. Whilst the rate at which you learn may decrease over time, to advance in your career, you should never stop learning. 2. Take yourself out of your comfort zone, as it is only when you do this that you will achieve great things. 3. Embrace failure. Whilst this is hard to do, failing sometimes is inevitable. Although try not to let failure happen often, but when you fail, you'll find that you learn the most. 4. Choose a mentor. This should be someone that you respect, will give you time, and they can provide you with wisdom. 5. Give back, both to the university and the community. Research has shown, and the greatest thinkers have proven for centuries, that happiness is found in helping others. And 6. Celebrate your own and your friends' successes. Finally, as you embark upon the next phase of your life, I say, well done. Be proud of your achievements to date, and whilst you're ending one journey, you're about to start another journey. Go and discover the world, safe in the knowledge that whilst change and uncertainty abounds, you will forever have one constant, a degree from Monash University, a university ranked in the top 100 universities in the world. Remember this, change can be an asset if you allow it to be. Thank you and good luck.